I know some of you are going to know about sound healing, and for some of you this the stuff around me here in my very glamorous spare room in Newquay is going to be something completely new. So if you're totally new, extra welcome, and thank you for coming and exploring. So my name's Janie. I am a sound therapist and healer. I'm also a Reiki master, a crystal practitioner. I read bits of astrology and human design, although that's really kind of around the edges of my practice and really there for amplification and helping people find different ways in. But the stuff that's really, really where I think the power and the magic lies for me and that I really love to share is sound. And that's what I do with all of these wonderful instruments around me, which are not necessarily conventional instruments. They're not things you might be used to seeing on stage or behind the decks. Although interestingly, I used to do a lot with ambience and working with mixing decks to bring some kind of house and some beats into this work. So hopefully we'll get back to that soon. But what sound healing and sound therapy is really all about is bringing us back into our natural frequency, because everything is sound. You know, we're all sound. Everything is frequency. So the earth that we're standing on, the walls that we're within, if we're at home, our energy, our bodies, our bones, our muscles, everything is just sound waves at different frequencies. How appropriate, my cat is trying to break in to a Whiskers sponsored event. So if you hear some meows, he's often louder than I am. If you hear some meows in the background, that is Coco. We won't let him in, he'll get in the way. So yeah, we are all, we're all infinite, we're all intuitive beings, we're all frequency-based beings. But by being around other frequencies, we pull ourselves out of our natural state. And you know that feeling when you're, especially if you live here in Cornwall, as I do, and you go back to a big city, you feel really kind of pushed and pulled by all the different energy around you. The concrete has a very different frequency to the trees and to being by the ocean. You'll notice if you're in front of a screen a lot, your frequency feels really kind of violated, and it's might be by some of the rubbish we're reading, but it also might be, and most likely is simply from the different frequencies that are coming to us through kind of all the different kind of electronic energies that we have in our houses now. If you look around your room, wherever you are now, and look at all the different devices going on, and they're all amazing devices that help us live full and nourished lives, but they are also contributing to our frequency, and that can really change our body. So what really happens with this work is that the frequencies come into our body and they seek out blockages, places where we might be holding tension, or might be physical tension, might be trauma. It could be things like a twisted knee, a migraine, period pain, or it might be some bigger, deeper emotional blockages, things that might go back to childhood and child work, long forgotten traumas or long buried or boxed traumas. And the frequencies come into our body and they seek out these blockages, because the basic laws of physics, the law of entrainment, says that when a high frequency or high vibe meets a low one, the higher one will come into the low, it'll start to shimmy it around, dissolve it, and then slowly bring it into the same frequency as itself. So this is that feeling you get at the end of the night on the dance floor on like a Sunday afternoon at Glastonbury, that kind of euphoric lift where you feel yourself just totally in flow. You often get it for those of you that practice yoga and shavasana at the end of your yoga practice, and you just find yourself dropping into this kind of, I always imagine, I'm trying to find a good word to describe it, but I imagine that, the Aladdin's carpet and almost sinking down through a carpet and kind of floating away. And it's really this magical, beautiful energy. So that's really your body finding its natural frequency again, coming back into tune, back into the harmony that it was built for, that it's intended for. And we can do that in lots of ways. We do it a lot with the food we eat, by eating high vibration foods. I know the guys at Sprout have talked a lot about that on this programme, on this series of events. We can do it by supplementing with herbs, like Alchemilla Herbs has been showing us. We can do it with yoga, which I know Katie Austin has been talking about. There's lots of beautiful ways that we can connect with our frequency. But for those of us who, like me, are perhaps a little lazy with some of that stuff, sound will get you there really fast. All you really have to do is lie down and receive. The frequencies will come into your body. They will start to move into those areas of blockages, give it a good old rummage around, start to shake and dissolve that blockage and alchemize it until it softens and dissolves and leaves you in a really pure, clean, healed, lifted state. So if that all sounds a bit too good to be true, people often think it is, but the best way to know whether it is or not is to experience it. So that's what I'm here to share with you tonight. A sound bath, a kind of a minimal sound bath length that I normally work with is about 40 minutes, which is what we're going to do now. But even a couple of moments can really make a difference. So I have lots of things on my Instagram. There's lots of other practitioners that do. They're even just 15, 30 seconds long. Just a momentary reset for you to tune into a different frequency that will bring you back into self. If you want to find out more about sound and how it can work therapeutically with conditions, I previously worked in the NHS a lot, particularly with spectrum conditions, with young adults with autism, Parkinson's, MS, fibromyalgia, particularly Alzheimer's and dementia. Any neurological conditions respond really well to sound. So there's many medicinal and therapeutic remedial applications, as well as this beautiful meditative trance-like journey that we can go on. And that's really what we're here for today, is that lovely trancey experience where we simply drop away, we close off the conscious mind and allow ourselves to lift out of our chatter, out of our auditory sense, out of our tangible five senses really, and journey beyond that into something a lot more psychedelic and esoteric and really somewhere that we can just relax and just be. So we're going to see how we go with the flow, sound-wise. Please give me a shout if the sound changes or if you have problems hearing anything. Obviously, the sound is not as great quality as in person, but it's still pretty good. We've had some amazing experiences online. Please don't worry about the fact that you're watching this on Instagram, be a barrier. All you need to do is close your eyes and listen. If you can use headphones or really good quality speakers, it does make a difference, having a good stereo, preferably noise cancelling experience. But just being present for yourself is really enough to get started. So that's where we're going to go. I can see you on another screen, so let me know if anything changes. So hopefully some of you guys will be here on the other side. So I'll arrange myself. I'm here in Newquay in really my very small studio spare bedroom, so I have to minimise what I can play for you compared to what I would do in a studio space. So wherever you are, we're going to start by having a few deep breaths. Taking a nice deep breath all the way into the base of the belly, feeling the abdomen fill and lift, feeling your rib cage expand through 360 degrees. Feeling the air in the front body, the back body, through the sides. And when you feel completely full up, like there's nowhere left for even the tiniest drop of air, slowly letting it release through your lips. Noticing it soften, the breath soften as it passes out of the body, feeling your shoulders start to soften forward, your chin drop to your chest, closing and protecting the heart space, feeling your belly soften back towards the spine. And when you're completely empty, taking a pause, noticing what it feels like in that stillness before filling back up again with nourishing air, inhaling deeply, filling all the way up. Feeling the body expand slowly, front, back and sides, feeling the shoulders roll back, perhaps lifting the chin as the air fills up to your nose and to your eyes until there's nowhere left for it to go. And then gently exhaling, allowing the body to soften and relax. It serves you to close your eyes, letting your lids flutter close, or you can glance down at the earth if that serves you better. Perhaps taking a moment to connect with an intention. We are just on the cusp of a really beautiful moment of renewal. This is something I've just been posting about on my own feed. We are at Imbolc, the pagan Celtic wheel Sabbath falls tomorrow. Imbolc means the belly of the mother. It's the season or the festival where the first seeds that we've planted during the long dark winter begin to poke their heads up above the surface of the earth. They break ground, break through the frozen earth and begin to be seen. And you may have noticed the first few snowdrops popping through the earth in the last couple of weeks. It's nature telling us she's ready. Also tomorrow we have the new moon in Aquarius. Aquarius is the 11th house of the zodiac, and this is an energy which is all about energy of the humanitarian, of the planet, of the collective, and of finding our leadership, our voice, our independence in a way that serves the collective. So this might be a nice theme to bring into your journey this evening, into your meditation. Hiya. Also tomorrow we move into the new lunar year, the season celebrated predominantly in Chinese culture for the new year of the tiger, or the water tiger. And this particular theme, or lunation, is all about the idea of pioneering spirit, of independence, of adventure. Think of all those energies we associate with the tiger. He's so solitary in so many ways, lives a really solitary life, and yet his actions are always in pursuit of the greater good. Theme here emerging of renewal of the collective, of humanitarianism, perhaps of activism. And as we emerge from the hibernation of this long, long January, it's a really beautiful time to think about what you're renewing under this season, this moon. What would you like to call forward? What would you like to sprout and seed and grow through the frozen earth as it begins to soften and warm up again? Now these bowls are all 432 hertz. That's the frequency of the planet, frequency of the cosmos when they send sonographs up into space, when NASA checked the frequency of deep space. This is what they come up with. Hazards of working at home. Imagining beautiful big roots stretching down through the floor, through the foundations of the space you're in, through the foundations of the building, the centre of the earth. Beginning to visualise yourself curled up, maybe in a fetal position. Not protecting yourself, but simply holding your energy close. Knowing that down there in the darkness, in the shadow, in the depths of winter is where the germination happens, where the magic happens. As growth happens in the darkness of winter. Visualize yourself curled up in that wintry, shaded fetal position. Imagine there's a seed right at the center of your being, in the belly, in the womb, however you identify gender-wise, you can hold this seed. And if it helps you, you can hold it in your hands or imagine it in your throat or your heart space. And this tiny seed is about to begin to sprout, to grow. Tiniest threads pressing out of the belly, out of the sacred growth, and spreading out through the earth's molten core, holding you safe, out through the granite and the rock and the crystalline layers, out through the lowest levels of the clays and the soils, pushing up through the grass and the surface of earth, until that little seed all the way down in the base of your belly, in the heart of the earth, has grown up and found light above ground. Spring into Imbolc, the new season, flourishing in the light. Thank you guys so much for joining this little mini sound bath. Actually quite a full sound bath, about 40 minutes. Part of the Winter Wellness programme being run by Whiskers, everyone's favourite bar here in Newquay. They are reopening tonight for open mic night, so this is the end of your chill out season, and the open mics are now back Monday and Thursdays, so jump along to those. And I'm really hoping that we get to do an event there in person soon. So thank you guys so much for joining. I'm really sorry about that little sonic blip. I'm really annoyed because that wasn't even my fault. I think it was just a phone thing. But really excited to have you all here. I hope you've enjoyed experiencing the sounds. And hopefully you have managed to get a little glimpse into the fact that sound healing, sound therapy is just as effective online as in person. We do have an extra element in person, which is the vibrational aspect, where we can go in and really actually physically, tangibly impact the muscles and the bones and so much more of our physical experience. But from a purely meditative, transformative perspective, you can experience sound on Instagram, on YouTube and Spotify and one of many apps. And if you would like to hear more, just drop me a DM. I play lots of live events all over Cornwall, in fact all over the country, so wherever you're watching from, do check out the calendar, which you can click through to from my link in bio. And if you want to come and join me on something soon, I would be so happy to see you. Have a gorgeous, gorgeous new moon. It's the dark moon in Aquarius tomorrow. It's also Imbolc, where the kind of the belly of the earth opens up and brings her seeds back out for us to expand into spring. And it's also the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year, and we welcome the Year of the Tiger. So all in all, it's the most beautiful day for new beginnings, for renewal, for just the most powerful new chapter. So I'm really excited to share in that with lots of you over the next week or so. So thank you all for your comments and messages, and do drop me a DM if you have questions. Sending you so much love.